Let me guess, you're a hardworking business owner, capable, reliable, the person everyone counts on. And yet, even with a team, even with growth, you still feel busy. Here's what I need you to hear. That doesn't mean you're failing. In fact, it probably means you're doing exactly what made you successful in the first place. And that's the problem. Now, if this resonates, drop a thumbs up. I want you to know that you're not alone. Most business owners I work with are proud of their work, and they should be. You didn't build your business by being lazy. You built it by figuring things out, making quick decisions, and being the one who stepped in when something needed to get done. In the early stages, hard work isn't optional, it's the strategy. So if you're thinking, of course I'm busy, that's how this works, you're not wrong. But here's a shift most people never see coming. The traits that build a business are not the same as the traits that stabilize a business. Let me say that differently. The leadership style that got you here won't be the one that gets you free. Because when you keep applying an early stage leadership approach to a later stage business, busyness doesn't go away. It gets rewarded. More people rely on you, more decisions come to you, more things quietly land back on your plate. Not because you're controlling and not because your team is bad, but because you're capable and the business learned to depend on that. Quick question for you. Have you ever said, or at least thought, it's just faster if I do it myself? If yes, you're exactly who this video is for. Let me give you an analogy that almost everyone understands. Parenting. Now, you don't parent a baby the same way you parent a toddler, and you don't parent an 8-year-old the same way you parent a teenager. Nothing is wrong with the child when they grow. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. But if you don't evolve how you parent as they grow, well, you start to feel friction. Business works the same way. Your business grows through stages, and as it does, it quietly requires a different version of you as a leader. Most owners never pause long enough to recognize that, so they just push harder. I once worked with a business owner who built her company from the ground up. In the first year, she worked 7 days a week. Yes, 7 days a week. There were no breaks, no margin, and it worked. The business grew. Clients came in. Revenue followed. Eventually, she hired managers, built a solid team. But here's what surprised her. She was still working 70 hours a week, and working less felt uncomfortable, almost wrong. She came to me and said, I think I just need to hire one more person so that I can finally work less. That's a very logical conclusion, but it wasn't the real issue. What we eventually uncovered wasn't a hiring problem. It was a role mismatch. She was still doing the work that belonged to her manager, not because she didn't trust them and not because she wanted control, but because expectations were never reset. The rhythm of leadership hadn't evolved, and the business, well, it kept defaulting back to the most capable person. So, of course, the work kept landing on her plate. Her capacity had grown, but her leadership model hadn't caught up yet. She needed to stop being the executor and start being the architect. That's the shift. This is what I call the busy trap. Hardworking leaders, they stay busy longer than everyone else because their capacity grows faster than their awareness of how their role needs to change. They don't stop doing the work because, well, they can do the work. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should still be doing it. Busyness at this stage, it isn't proof of importance. It's often a signal that your role hasn't evolved yet. If your business has grown but your workload hasn't changed much, this might be why. I'm not going to give you a full system here, but I do want to give you 3 questions that will help you start seeing the pattern in real time. So grab a pen or just pause the video and screenshot these questions. Number 1, what work is on my plate right now that I used to love, but now it just feels like maintenance? That's often work that's outgrown your role. It was strategic when you were building, but now it's keeping you busy, but it's not moving the business forward. Okay, question 2. What decisions come to me by default? Not because I'm the only one who can make them, but because, well, I've always made them. Okay, this one is sneaky because default decisions, well, they feel important, but they're often just habits the business never questioned. Okay, question 3. If I disappeared for 2 weeks, not because of an emergency, but intentionally, what would break? And here's the follow-up. Would it break because the system is missing? or because the expectation was never set. Most of the time, it's the second one. Okay, write these down, sit with them this week. You don't need to fix anything yet, just notice. Because awareness, well, it's the first move towards freedom. If this video hit close to home, let me be very clear. You don't need to change because you failed. You need to change because your business evolved. And leadership evolution is a sign of maturity, not weakness. At this stage, success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from leading differently. If this was helpful, check out the description. I've linked a free resource that will help you take this further. And if you want more conversations like this about leading with clarity, not constant motion, make sure you're subscribed. That's all for now. Bye.